Hey, Russell of Hotels going live just for a couple minutes. You guys know how I do it. This is a daily check-in, right? Today is Hump Day. So happy June 4th, Wednesday, June 4th, or, Hump Day. Who doesn't love Wednesdays just so we can say Hump Day? Anyway, I, I don't know why that made me laugh like that, but it just tickles me. Anyway, hope you guys are doing well. This is a daily check-in. I do the daily check-in Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And of course, on Tuesdays, I do that show that everyone's talking about, that live hospitality talk show called On Air with Russell of Hotels. I'm still high from yesterday's episode, and I'm gonna talk about that in a minute, right? I'm gonna get into that a little bit of. If you haven't checked it out, I'll give you a little information about it. So hopefully that makes you want to go check it out, right? So if you haven't checked it out, it's on LinkedIn, it's on YouTube. I'll put it on my Facebook page later. But hey, I'm live on LinkedIn and YouTube. That is the preferred platform of choice. Let me just make sure my comments are open. Comments are open. Yeah, so feel free to make comments. And I always say this, and I don't know why this is, so don't get mad at me, don't hate on me. But YouTube, if you're on YouTube, you can make your comments in real time. I can put your comments on the screen in real time. But if you're on LinkedIn, you can still see it. You can whatever. You can make comments. It's just that I can't do anything with the comments because they don't show on my Ecamm Live. That's the platform I use. I don't know why that is because it used to be I used to get the comments on LinkedIn, and I have to say this all the time. It's like a disclaimer, okay? I feel obligated to have to tell you guys, make your comments though on LinkedIn as well. I go back later and look at those comments, and of course I address those comments, or I make comments myself, or I like it, or whatever the heck it is. So still feel free to make the comments. It's just that I won't respond in real time. But if you're on YouTube, go to my YouTube channel, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Anytime I go live, you get a notification. And that's what it's all about, right? Everybody wants a notification of when I'm going live, right? Don't they? Maybe they don't. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just a figment of my imagination, okay? I'm thinking everybody wants, to see it or see me. But anyway, you know what, whatever. Every time I do a daily check-in or on air with Russell of Hotels, I'm showcasing a hotel because it's all about brand awareness. Because some people may not have heard of this hotel, you may not even heard of me, and that's fine, and that's exactly why I want to be visible. Because visibility leads to brand awareness. That's what I'm talking about right now. Brand awareness. Brand awareness leads to brand excitement. We want people excited about your brand and my brand as well, right? And brand excitement, what does that lead to? That could lead to bookings, business, revenue dollars, and that's what everyone wants, right? But it all starts with the visibility. If you don't have the visibility, no one's talking about you. Maybe no one knows you exist, right? So anyway, my job is to make sure people know that every hotel, that at least the ones that I've been to and I experienced, they know that they exist, right? So Vea, Newport Beach, I mean, it's a great hotel. I'm sure they do well without me talking about them, okay? But I always say, if you're not running 100%, 365 days a year, you need some help. I'm just putting it out there. You know what? Just like me, no one knows. I don't get DMs and messages all the single time asking. People ask me questions. I do get them every now and then, right? And which I appreciate, but it's because everybody doesn't know who I am, right? So and more than likely they will never, and everyone will never know who I am. But I'm trying to reach the people that that are in this space, or they need assistance with maybe hotels, meetings, things like that, or just interested in this world of hospitality that to some people is a mystery, right? So my job is to just create brand awareness, let people know about the industry, let people know about Russell of Hotels, and how I help people, or how I can help hotels, or DMOs and CVBs in the industry. So that's what it's all about. Okay, so I do a show 5 days a week, right? So once again, the daily check-in is Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday on air with Russell of Hotels. I'm coming up on show number 300. Yesterday was show number 299, of course, and I've been doing that since 2019. And like I said, I'm up to, it'll be 300 shows next Tuesday. Can you believe it? So, of course, I'm going to be talking about that all week. I'm going to be promoting that show. Am I going to have a guest? I don't think so. Definitely won't be like the guest I had on yesterday, Mr. David Blansfield with Northstar Meetings Meetings Group or meeting or travel group, Northstar Travel Group. That's like the parent company, right? So the Meetings Group is a subsidiary of the Northstar Travel Group. I just found that out yesterday. David just told me that, right? Right before we go live, he tells me that. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this information now? Thanks, David. No, anyway, but no, better safe, better late than never, right? But yeah, no, I know now, right? So this it's funny how things you'll find out when you're having a conversation with people. You may scratch the surface on what you think you know about people or their organization, but then as you go a little deeper, you get more information, and that's what it's all about, right? Getting information, and that's why I do those conversations. Now, yesterday was a conversation, wasn't an interview. David has a job, I got a job, right? So it's not an interview, right? It's a conversation. Two dudes just kind of hanging out, shooting the stuff. You know what I mean? Just talking a little bit about meetings and destinations and people and North Star and all that stuff. So it was a great time. I'm minimizing it now, but no, it was a great. It was definitely the highlight of my year, probably as far as conversations I've had with people. No, that was a good one. That was a good one because, and I think more because I love what North Star does when it comes to meetings, right? There's other organizations that do meetings, but for my money, North Star is probably the top one, and it's just basically how they execute things and how they go out of their way and they follow up and all those kind of things, right? Same things that we as hotel site selection people or meeting planners want. We want people to follow up. We want people to make sure you're having a good time. We make sure you want people to make sure you've been taken care of. If you do have a vegan meal, they want to make sure you did get it right. I mean, things like that. It's just and that's all behind the scenes. Everyone doesn't see that, right? Everyone doesn't see that. Everyone doesn't see that. They come up behind me and like say, "Hey, uh, just so you know, we have a special this for you, right? Based on my dietary needs, right? So it's not just lip service because some organization will send out lip service and then when you get there, it, you don't get anything. You don't get anything that you had asked for. You got to kind of piecemeal stuff together, which, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, right? I ain't trying to starve, you know what I mean? But anyway, but no, I appreciate from, when they approve you to when they send you out information to everything. I appreciate everything they do. And there you go. So there you go. But once again, I'm at the Vea Resort in Newport Beach. Vea is part of Marriott, just in case you did not know. I want to say it's part of the Autograph Collection, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, let's move forward. These daily check-ins don't have to be that long. They're hopefully 15, 20 minutes. Sometimes I become a little wordy and long-winded and all that stuff. But that's okay, right? That just means I'm getting excited about the topic, right? But anyway. Anyway, feel free to make comments. Did I say that already? Feel free to make comments if you're on LinkedIn or YouTube. And there you go. There you go. Moving forward. So, I talk about this visibility. I can't be a top 50 social media influencer in global hospitality 2025 if I'm not visible, right? The same with a couple of people, the 6 or 9 people that are showed on the screen. The only reason I show this screen because I'm on there, right? My picture's on there in the bottom middle, okay? Just in case you didn't know that was me, that is me, right? So, I mean, you cannot, just like they can't be top 50, social media influencers in global hospitality if they're hiding behind things, if they're not being visible. So once again, it comes back to that visibility thing. Each one of those people are separate brands. We're all brands, right? We may be brands that work for brands or represent brands, but the brand starts with you. A lot of people don't get that, right? They just think, oh, I work for the big M, the M, the building, the hotel with the M on it, right? And they think that's the brand. That is a brand, right? But if you're a salesperson, guess what? People will buy your brand, before they buy the brand that you represent, right? So a lot of people forget that or they don't think about that. So, I mean, you may be the front person for that hotel, right? And yet they're they're they only know that hotel because of you, because you're the brand, right? You're the brand that represents the other brand. So just remember that the brand starts with you. Okay, there you go. And a lot of people don't think like that, but I do, and it's my job to bring it to you. So once again, yeah, I was one of the top, or I am one of the top 50 social media influencers in global hospitality 2025. So this is the thing. If you didn't know that, then shame on me, right? I'm not mad at the organization that put this out, right? I'll be mad at me because I didn't show anybody this, or I didn't display this, I didn't talk about it. So it's all about visibility, right? So if you're not visible, no one's gonna know who the heck you are, what you do, or how you can help them. And that's where I draw the line right there, right? Let people know who you are, what you do, and how you can help them. You know that elevator pitch that people talk about? Limit it to that. Those three things: who you are, what you do, and how you can help. Boom, that's all you need. That's all you need. Okay, the blog. Normally, when I do a topic, everything's on the blog, right? I mean, there's so much information on the blog. Just go russellofhotels.com. That is my website. Just click on the blog button. Say that 3 times fast. Blog button, blog button, blog button. Okay, I could say it 3 times fast. Okay, no problems. So go to russellofhotels.com, check out the blog button, or hit that button, just bing, and then any topics that I've talked about in the past, excluding, well, the one today is not on there. Okay, I'm just letting you know it's not on there because it's not really a topic, it's a recap. So I didn't put the recap on the blog, so you don't have to worry about that. But anything that I talked about in the past will be there, along with other information on the website. I mean, I got press releases there. There's about me, about the company, about how I started. All that information is there. What I do, all that stuff is there on the website. So just go russellofhotels.com. If you want to contact me, my email address is there, as well as my phone number. That's my cell phone number. So feel free to reach out in touch. So you can do that as well, because, so it's about how people want to get in touch with me. It's not about how I want people to get in touch with me, right? It's the other way around. It's the client. You're the client and you want to ask me questions or whatever. So however you want to get a hold of me, you can. So if his phone number is your method method of communication, that's fine. If it's email, that's fine. Every social media platform known to man, I'm on. So if you want to DM me, you can slide into my DM. You can do all that stuff. It's up to you. That's up to you. Okay. Like I said, I don't tell anybody how to get a hold of me, and nor should, like salespeople, whatever. Well, this is how you need to get it. No, they should be comfortable using whatever method they want to use. That's just how I've done my business, and I will continue to do that. And of course, I let people know that, yeah, it's about them. It's never about us. It's always about them. So, meaning the client, okay? That's what I mean by that. The topic for today is, it's just talking points from the conversation I had with David yesterday. Just in case you had not seen it, these are for the talking points. We talked about other things. The conversation went about an hour, right? So we talked about, it actually went over an hour, because David, he gets kind of long-winded sometimes. So don't tell him I said that. But yeah, he gets kind of long-winded sometimes. That was a joke, okay? You guys can laugh. No. And I welcome that. Well, yeah, he did. And we did. But it was good, because when you're making a point, sometimes it takes time. And one thing about doing your own show, you're not relegated to, okay, well, something else is going to come behind me. There's another show coming on. No, this ain't regular TV. This is not TV. This is, this was on Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube, right? So we have to go over a couple minutes, and we did, and that's good. That means that was a healthy conversation, and that's what I like. So so make sure you check it out. But these are the talking points that we kind of talked about. There's other things we did discuss, but these are things that I kind of remember. Virtual meetings. I asked the question, are they still a thing? So what do you think they are? What do you think the answer to that is? Yeah, I guess in some situations it can be, but it's not like it used to be back in the day, back around COVID, where, it was hybrid, half the people were there. And then, but one thing he did say was, people, they long to meet with each other, right? People want to meet. People want to meet. People want to, touch other people, reach out and touch. Once again, there you go. They want to touch, they want to hug, they want to be in the same room, they want to break bread with people. And that's how relationships are built. So, but just he gives an interesting take on that on the virtual meetings thing. So make sure you check that out. Number two, does the current political does the current political climate affect meetings? That was an interesting conversation, right? What his take on that was. So make sure you check that out as well. Number three, spotlighting second, third, and fourth tier destinations. I always say don't sleep on those destinations. Well, they strategically, they want to align themselves with people that want to align with them, or destinations that want to align with Northstar, right? So it just so happens that a lot of the some of the destinations that they meet at could be second, third, fourth tier destinations, meaning they're not the most popular ones. A number one destination would be like a Los Angeles, a New York, a Chicago. Those would be your number one destinations, right? So, but they make it a point to utilize those third and fourth tier destinations as well, which I love, right? I love them for that because in fact, I talked about this yesterday, where one particular destination, Greenville, South Carolina, I had never been there before. Well, one of their meetings was there, right? And I got exposed to it. I got introduced to, the CVB people, to find out that the destination is very walkable, and the hotels, they have every hotel out there known to man out there. I didn't know because I had never been there before, right? And just so happened, I introduced that to my client, and next thing you know, they're booking there. In fact, it's this year that they're booking in Greenville, South Carolina. So there you go. So that's what it's all about. It's about getting exposed to, destinations that maybe you didn't know exist, or maybe you had heard of and never even thought about. Oh, that's not even going to be an option for my client. You never know until you present things, right? So once again, shout out to that. So we talked about that as well. And number four, what North American destinations can learn from the international ones, right? And I kind of led this conversation. I mean, I asked the question, but then he kind of threw it back on me. I think that's how it went. But yeah, I always go back to presentation. In fact, I was at the SMU conference for Northstar back in January, right? It was in New York. New York, big city of dreams. So we were, I don't know why I said that, but so we were in New York at the SMU conference, and there was these presentations, and just for people that don't know, just real quick, SMU is international destinations, right? So there's meeting planners or hotel site selection people like myself, buyers versus, not versus, but we're buyers, right? And then, but the destinations and hotels were international. So you got Europe, you had, Caribbean, you had every Australia, New Zealand, you had damn near every inch of the world represented, almost, but not all, but almost. So you had all them represented, right? And they were so excited. They wanted American business. They want business from North America. Blah 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 blah. They're just excited. They're passionate about it. And they were this one. It was Korea. They were given a presentation, and everything on the table, like we're having lunch or gonna have lunch. Everything on this table had something to do with Korea. And in fact, I still have stuff here, like from notepads to pens to there's photos. I mean, everything was there that was about Korea, and they were just so excited about it. The presentation, the food. I don't eat meat, right? But they made it a point to make sure that I got that Korean experience too, because what they were serving was Korean barbecue, right? Well, I had a rendition of that as well. So I'm like, this is great. And that was back in January. I'm still talking about it today because it made that much of an impact. So when I think I asked David, or maybe it was just a one-way conversation, maybe I just said it. I said, one thing that we don't get here, I go to a lot of these meetings, I do a lot of meetings, and some of the destinations and hotels are not as excited as they were at this international conference is what I'm saying. So meaning that, we don't have to fight for this business. We can do whatever we not necessarily that we just do it haphazardly, or we're not passionate about it, but it has to show in the presentation, right? It has to show. If you get 15, 20 minutes to talk about your destination or your hotel, first of all, you need to take all 15, 20 minutes, if not go over, and you need to have presentation. I mean, you need to have, PowerPoint and video and all that, and sizzle reel or whatever, something that's going to capture your attention. And the things on the table, the display table, or what's in front of all the attendees, needs to capture that as well, right? Needs to capture your destination. So you have this, you have what am I trying to say? A captive audience. You need to take advantage of that captive audience and show some excitement, and continue to show that excitement when you do your one-on-ones. And it was funny, the same energy that the person that was doing the presentation for the Korea Tourism Board or whatever, it just so happened this, just happened to work out this way, right? The last one-on-one meeting that I had was with that person that did the presentation for Korea, right? So the same energy, and she was just so passionate about this, the one-on-one. She was just as passionate during the presentation for Korea. I mean, it was the same energy. It was, it was crazy, right? So that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying what North American destinations can learn from the international ones. They're hungry for business. They want the business, right? And you can see and you can tell, right? Just from conversation and just from the presentation. That's what I mean. That same energy, bring it, is what I'm saying. So, boom, there you go. Did I get that out? Ooh, boy, can you tell I was a little excited? Ooh, man. Hey, check this out. Okay, we're moving on, right? So shout out and congrats. And she didn't know I was going to do this, right? But I knew this was happening. It was on LinkedIn, or I knew it happened. It was on LinkedIn and all that. And she let people know that this is the position she's taking. So everyone knows V, right? You guys know Veronica Rivera, formerly of San Diego Tourism Authority. Now she got a new job. So shout out and congrats to Veronica Rivera, the new director of convention sales and services for Visit Sacramento. So shout out to her. Like I said, she didn't know I was doing this, and she probably would say, "Well, no, don't you do that." But anyway, I'm doing it anyway, Veronica. Okay, what you gonna do? Okay, but anyway, no, I'm so proud of her. She's a friend. Of course, she's a friend, right? I wouldn't be just doing anybody unless I knew them, right? But no, I happened to text her yesterday and just congratulate again, and right away she responded. So that stuff goes a long way. She's helped me out in San Diego with some groups. So of course I'm gonna. This is the least amount that I can do for Miss V, to let people know that she's moved on and she's landed in San Diego, Sacramento, and we appreciate her. And so make sure Sacramento is on your list, okay? And make sure that Veronica is there. And in fact, you can go to her LinkedIn page and everything's already updated, okay? So I'm not sure if she started yet already, but her LinkedIn page is already updated. So there you go. So once again, congrats to V. Boy, okay. So, okay, every Tuesday on air with Russell of Hotels, that live hospitality talk show that everyone's talking about, will be on. So show number 300, of course, is coming up next Tuesday. What is next Tuesday? Next Tuesday. Oh, you know what? Oh my gosh. Let me back up. Okay, somebody's going to like, you talking all this stuff and you're not going to do it on Tuesday? Okay, this is what's going on. Sunday through Tuesday, I'm doing a fam trip in Coronado, which is right outside of San Diego, right near San Diego. So if I'm going to do it, it's going to be from, it's got to be from from Coronado. Excuse me, I keep saying that. From Coronado, right? Visit Coronado, okay? So that's its own destination, okay? So I'm gonna be there Sunday through Tuesday. So if I do show number 300, it will be from there, okay? Which has nothing to do with you, but I just want to let you know that I may be there. That'd be great, right? Show number 300, do it on location. Okay, All right, maybe we're gonna do it like that. We're gonna see. But yeah, so show number 300 more than likely will be from, I want to say Lowe's Coronado. Okay, great hotel. Looking forward to staying there. Looking forward to experiencing everything that Coronado has to offer. Thank you so much for the was it Shari for the invitation. I'm looking forward to it. We'll be there with bells on. So yeah, so there you go. So on air with Russell of Hotels, more than likely, show number 300 will be from the Lowe's in Coronado. So I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to that. So once again, any questions at all, feel free to reach out to me, Russell at russellofhotels.com. That is my email. Remember, all you got to do is go to there. You find my website. That is my website. Yeah, that's my website. Go there. You'll find my email. Email is russell at russellofhotels.com. So just make sure you go and check that out. Anything you need to know about me is there. Any questions you have, you can email me, or you can make a phone call, whatever. So there you go. That's about it, right? That's all I got today. Let me see. Is there anything else? I think so. I think there's a message out there I always like to share with people now. You can't expect results if you're hiding. Visibility is not luck, it's strategy. So I always say this. It's strategy that I do this show, right? It was all about branding and marketing myself, right? That's how this whole thing, this whole podcast came about. Of course, yeah, I want to talk about hotels. I want to talk about anything hospitality, right? But yeah, but how could I do that? The only way I can do it and get it to the masses was to do a podcast. That's how I started this whole thing, this whole journey back in 2019, January 27th, 2019. It was a Tuesday at 1 o'clock. So for people that didn't know this, the 1 o'clock thing is a thing, right? It's been a thing since 2019, and it will be a thing moving forward, right? Now, I may change the time every now and then based on my schedule and where I am, but just like your favorite TV show, right? So say you used to watch the Brady Bunch. It came on at 5 o'clock on Thursday afternoon, right? On ABC. Well, it's the same thing, right? You knew that Friday or at 5 o'clock on ABC, the Brady Bunch was going to be on there, right? Okay, Russell of Hotels every Tuesday at 1 o'clock on YouTube and LinkedIn is going to be there, right? So boom, there you go. So you want to make sure people, they remember. And if you start changing things, people forget, right? So no, I keep it the same time. But if you can't see it, you can always get the replay, right? And the replay is on LinkedIn and YouTube as well. And then occasionally I do put it on Facebook, my Facebook page, and put little blurbs on Instagram as well, right? I'll break up the video sometime and put it on other platforms because I want people to see it. I want people to enjoy it. I want people to make comments, all that kind of stuff, right? Because it's all about invisibility is the key, but it's all about the strategy as well, right? So it's strategic that I do these things. So there you go, right? So just make sure that you kind of listen to some of the stuff I'm saying. You can't expect results if you're hiding. So no one should be hiding. So if I ask you to come on the show, just come on the show, right? Because visibility is not luck, it's strategy. So it'd be strategic that you say, oh, I'm going to be on Russell of Hotels show, right? Because that's part of your strategy of becoming more visible, okay? Or maybe you want to do your own thing, and that's fine too. But just do something. Let people know that you exist. Let people know that, people love a story, right? They want to know who you are, what you do, how you can help them. But if you represent another brand, make sure you let people know what that brand is and that you represent them and that's what you do for that particular brand. Like David represents, it's David Blansfield, he's a brand, right? But he represents another brand called Northstar Travel Group, okay? So it's just like Veronica, okay? Veronica is a brand, okay? She was synonymous with San Diego for years, right? Well, now she's no longer synonymous with them. But guess what? I guarantee you she will become synonymous with with Sacramento as well, right? Because it's all about the visibility. She's going to have that same energy, probably more energy now for Sacramento, I'm sure. So that's what it's all about. It's about bringing that energy. It's about being strategic. It's about being visible. And there you go. So there you go. Whoo, boy. Whoo, that got me worked up. Whoo, man. I don't have to work out now. Shoot, that got my blood boiling. No, I'm just woo, boy. Anyway, the daily check-in comes on every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So today is Wednesday, right? Hump day. Guess what? I'll be doing it tomorrow as well. So, but make sure you check out if you haven't checked out on air Russell of Hotels along with David Blansfield. That was yesterday's show with Northstar. Make sure you check that out. It is there. The replay is there on LinkedIn and YouTube. So go back and check that out, and just make sure that you know that every day, 5 days a week, Russell of Hotels is doing something. He's talking about some hotel, or he's representing a hotel, or he's showcasing a hotel. And always know this: there will be no hotel that I showcase that I have not been to, that I've never experienced before, right? I have to have experienced it in order for it to be on the show, right? So it's all about integrity with me. I'm not just saying, well, yeah, I was here, but knowing damn well I wasn't there. No, I don't do that, right? So every show, every hotel that I showcase, or every destination that I showcase, I will be there, or I had been there. Excuse me. So Vea, I actually had a group here at Vea. Great hotel. Did you know I booked this hotel sight unseen? And oh my God, was I, ooh, man, this was one of the best for this corporate group that I have. It's one of the best programs ever. Okay, ever. And they did such a great job, right? The experience, and this is what the client told me, everything was elevated. The experience was elevated. Upon arrival, it was just an elevated experience. And I can just feel her just going up, elevating, right? So I'm like, well, is it elevating or levitating? No, elevating, okay? So the food, the meeting, everything was elevated. And that's what I love to hear, right? So shout out to Vea and Newport Beach for creating that elevated experience. I appreciate that. And I don't forget stuff, right? If someone's taking care of my groups, taking care of me, I'm gonna let the world know about it. So once again, I don't show any hotel that I have not experienced, or my client is, well, no, it's all about me. It's all about me. No, I have experience since my client has experienced it, right? Yeah, I went there the same week. I just that I hadn't been there prior to them getting there. So, but anyway, that is it. Appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much. No one made any comments today. I don't know what that's all about, but that's okay. But just make sure you follow me on LinkedIn, follow me on YouTube. Just go to the channel, YouTube channel, subscribe, hit that subscribe button, and anytime I go live, bing, you'll know. So that's it. You guys have a great day. Happy hump day. And as always, peace.